as I was going to it, it's entitled Looking to the Future, Essential Partnerships. The essential partnerships was thrown in at the last minute because as I thought about what I was going to say, there's so many partnerships that are so important in leading any organization, and especially a city, and I think in a minute you'll see why. And as I go through this, I will come back to this slide later and be thinking about what makes a great city, whether it's Gardendale, Alabama, or anywhere else. What makes a great city? Building partnerships. You see a lot of words in there put all together: leadership, process, goals, coaching, personal, behavior, decisions, organization, manager. You know, all of those are so key in making this work as a city. This is a personal, I guess, work ethic and philosophy that I had, not only when as I got a little bit older working with the city, but then once I became an elected official, this is what was my intent, was surround myself with people who I could trust and depend on. People who will work hard. If you won't work hard, I don't care anything about you being around. I'll just be perfectly honest with you. And people who are smarter than me. And for a leader, I always say, I think number 3, a lot of times, is hard to put up there on a screen because you won't think you're the smartest person around. Well, I'm not. And I got news for these other leaders, they're not either. Is you better utilize other people if you're going to be successful. I don't care as a mayor or in any other position, owner of a business or whatever. My next slide is, and Bill, you can't see the screen, can you? But we've got a gentleman that's retiring that has been with the city over 30 years. He and I worked together in different roles a long time ago, and Bill has been such an important asset to this city, and you know, if you ever have an event and Bill, you know, has been the one that you work with primarily, and we're gonna miss him because he's got big shoes to fill. But I'm proud of him for what he's doing next. And you see that lower slide. If you were gonna move, that wouldn't be a bad looking place to move to. So Bill's gonna be moving to Jekyll Island, Georgia. And Bill, if you would come up here, please, sir. Bill, I just want to formally thank you as mayor and as a buddy and a longtime fellow employee for all you've done for the city.
Thank you.
And we as an entire city wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
And you know, there's a lot of pressure when you got an event like this, and we've got another employee, Norman Miller, who is here and is going to be assisting in some of these duties. And there's a lot of pressure when you're in charge of all this. And you know, it's real important to me. Anybody that works for me knows how important it is and how I want to present ourselves. And when things fail, you know, everybody's looking at Bill. So, but again, a great job. The facility looks great. And if you haven't had a chance, while you're here, go look in the meeting rooms where we've replaced the carpet with a new laminate floor, and it looks great. And again, the gym looks great. So back to partnerships. This is a picture of the mayor and council. Most of us have been together since 2012, and I'll come to the new kid on the block here in a minute. But as we're working together, and one of my department heads, Jeff Hollian, sent me this, along with an encouraging prayer this morning. And I thought it was really, really key as we're working together, not only as mayor and council, but with everyone else. Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. And when you're going through a lot of tough issues, that keeping together can be difficult, and we've been through a lot of difficult issues and times. So, but we're all together, and we may not have the same opinion sometime, and I can assure you we all share it with each other. But we have the ability to say, hey, let's go get something to eat afterwards, and not take it personal. We'll start with Alvin Currington. He's our city council president. Now he's in his third term, and just does a great job in that new role that he's in, and brings a lot to the table as far as experience and IT and financials. And Alvin and I have agreed that for us, in our opinion, if we know we're on the same page, then it's a lot smoother process. And proud to call him a fellow councilman and friend, and he represents District 4. Next one's Greg Calvert. He represents District 4. He's also City Council President Pro Tem. Just a really great man, and being retired, he has more time to devote to this than some of the others. And we spend a lot of time together, and I tell people all the time he keeps me straight, and for that I appreciate you, Greg. District 1's Alan Jerkins. He couldn't be here today. He had one of his employees get sick last minute this morning. As good a man as there is in his second term. Greg's also in his second term, and just a really great family man, as all of these guys are, and does a great job representing District 1. Here's the new kid I was telling you about, and Adam Barrett represents District 2 and has been a great addition to the council. We miss Blake, but he stepped right in, and he brings a different skill set that's key to the success of the city. He's doing a lot of work with economic development. Again, another great family man. Will Hardman, District 5, in kind of his second term. He when I became mayor, he replaced me. Really big shoes to fill there, Will, but good luck. But Will does a great job. He's a good friend. He's my insurance man that I'm proud to tell people about. And does a great job representing District 5, another great family man as well. The backbone of this city, as I talk about the state of the city, without doubt, is our employees. And as elected officials, we're not anything without our employees. And that partnership that we have with them, especially in my role as mayor, is so key. And they're so important in everything that we do, and kind of the process. You call me with a complaint, or the council members, and next thing is a text message or a phone call. And these guys and ladies that work for me know it's not unusual at all for me to shoot them a text at 10 o'clock at night, and I'll tell you, they text me back that same night. So I'm really proud of that, and they take all of these issues seriously, and they do a great job. This is something that I started putting in this slideshow a couple years ago, and they're my models for how we're going to treat people as employees. And they're Publix and Chick-fil-A. And my good friend Mike Holmes is in here somewhere, and I know he gets it, and he expects his people to follow that, and I expect our employees to follow that all the way through. We don't have it all right yet, but we're going to get there, and that's how we're going to treat people. The key people are these department heads. And left to right, I'll just call their names out. Melissa Honeycutt's our city clerk, outstanding job. Sherry Baggett's our court magistrate, leads that department, outstanding. Robert Ryan, our chief building inspector, outstanding job. Keith Mosley leads the Civic Center, outstanding job. Chief Clint Doss leads our fire department, outstanding job. Chief Walker leads our police department, outstanding job. Jeff Hollian leads our public works, outstanding job. Dale Heitch, our Parks and Recreation Director, outstanding job. And Connie Smith, our librarian, outstanding job. Let's give all these department heads a hand. And I say that without reservation about what I said about what kind of job they do. They truly do. And, we're all on the same page. They know now what to expect out of me. It was different when I came in, and just because everybody's got a different style, but we all work well together. And this is a slide I proudly throw up. Over 300 years of municipal experience, and you may not think we know what we're doing, but we know what we're doing, and we're proud of that slide right there. Every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock, we assemble at City Halls, the mayor and the department heads. Most days, my buddy Greg brings me a biscuit, and this past Wednesday he failed, but I forgive him. But we take that time seriously. Hey, we have our laughs, I can assure you. But this picture was taken, I believe, the day that we thought we were going to have the severe weather. We came in early that morning, and we're not announcing what we're doing, but in the event something happens, we are prepared. Peggy Burgess, who leads our senior center, is right here in front of me. Just does an outstanding job leading that program, and it's so important. Peggy, I've tried to get Mother to join the program, but she tells me she's not old enough. So, and I'm not going to tell y'all how old she is. If I told you, you wouldn't believe it. But my mother's here in the audience, so appreciate her being here. And Peggy, like I told Peggy the other day, I love going to her events because I feel so loved when I walk in those doors, and that's a good feeling. Next is about our fire department, and graph here showing exactly what they do and the amount of calls they answer. A lot of our firemen are in the room, and we appreciate what they do. And a lot of times in really tough situations, and how they have to respond, and just truly do a great job in our city. A couple slides of showing the men. This next slide is something we've got going on. We've got a storm shelter that's approved and planned, and will be under construction soon behind Station 1 on 31 Highway. They're also going to be building a fire training site in the same area. So all of these guys just do a great job, and we all appreciate what they do. Here's the slide of Station 3 that will be built on Tarrant Road, just past the intersection of Pineywood Road. We have the plans now in place. We don't have it funded yet, but we're still working on that, and we hope to see that coming out of the ground just as soon as we can. Before I go into my next slide, we've got another retirement coming up, and Chief Doss has been around. He's old because he's been around here longer than I have. But Clint's retiring in February, so this will be my last State of the City with him present. Hey, to me, Clint's like family. He's like a brother. I was real close to his dad, still am with his mom and all the family, and And Clint, if you'd come up just a minute, please, sir. But Clint, Clint, if you know him, I mean, it's fire department, period. And that's the way he's always been. Other than fire department, it's family. So here's a picture, Clint, we put together that if you'll look up there. I think that says Clint. It's family and it's fire department. So Clint, and publicly, I just want to thank you for all you've done for the city, and appreciate you, brother. Othell always kids me about, he says I'm a classic politician. I always try to throw a few tears in there. You almost got me then too, Othell. Next slide's our police department. This is always the night of the Christmas parade where he's got everybody together, and I'm invited to be in that picture, and it's something I'm really proud to do. And my dad was a policeman, so that profession's always close to my heart. But all these people in this picture, they just do a great job, and like all of these employees. And it's tough sometimes when you're the mayor, because these aren't just employees; these are friends, and I think that's one reason I think I'm so passionate about our employees. And just know what everybody does. So our police, we've got several policemen in here today as well. But they just do a great job. This is a slide where Jimmy Unix was honored for a work on some case with the FBI downtown. I was able to go into the FBI building for the first time. Glad I passed my background check that day, but I don't know if Chief helped me or not. But it was an honor being there, and again, great people, and they do so many other things, but other than what they do, and I think that's what really makes me proud. All the employees, they do so many things outside their job description. But, some of these are on Halloween night, giving out candy, and it's so important for our kids now, in this day and age, where I think the media and society sometimes tries to tell you different. We gotta get back to work, letting these kids know that these guys are their friend, and it is sad, and it makes me passionate and angry, but they just do a great job putting their lives on the line. Our crossing guards, Hazel finally gave it up after over 50 years, and always did a great job. But all these ladies are out here every day protecting our kids. And then Sherry Baggett leads our court system. We have now a process where you can make your payments online, and Catherine was telling me about that this morning. She prepared the slide, and she said, everybody just loves it. I said, well, I don't know if I can say they love it, because for what they're having to pay for, but again, it's a convenience that we've added that makes things better. Our library, and that entire staff does a great job. Over 8,000 people visit that a month. Wi-Fi, regular monthly, adult, teen, children's, seniors. Library use saves the community $146,000 a month. Of course, Connie wants that added into her budget, but we're still going through those details. But she does a great job, the entire staff. And if you haven't been to the library lately, go up there and check it out. We've made some significant improvements, and it really looks good. Again, I got a heart for kids, being an old park and rec guy, so It's kind of like the senior center, and I always told my wife, you know, about women, if they're under 12 or if they're over 70, they love me. So, but again, just great times there. Our Civic Center staff and a key component in all that they do, in any major event, you know, usually it's here in the city, and along with the fitness and youth basketball and all the fitness classes and training and just meetings and weddings and teas and Keith, people see this the way it looks today. This might create a problem. You might have people wanting the gym, but it does really looks great. And you know, a couple months back when they had the fire at the apartment complex in Birmingham, we were used as a shelter. So we actually had people living in here for about 10 days, I believe, but you know, it was our blessing to have them here and to be able to help. Coming up here, we finally got through the ALDOT process, and if anybody has ever dealt with ALDOT, and I don't think I have any ALDOT people in the room, so I can pretty much say what I want to, but that is so lengthy and so time-consuming. But we're going to be adding a walking trail that will add to the Civic Center walking trail. And then along with that, there'll be a footbridge that connects over the creek to the old First Baptist Church original building. And you'll see that happening soon. Next is our Public Works Department. I'm under the clock, so I got to get my phone up here in front of me. But our Public Works Department, and you know, they get kind of forgotten sometime, and even though we drive on the roads every day, but just an outstanding group, all the way up and down in that department, and all that they do, and from their fleet maintenance to the 1,318 miles of grass along city right-of-ways, and the city cleanup days, and the brush pickups, all that. Well, I will tell you, it's very rare that I don't notify them with a complaint that if it's not resolved that day, it's resolved the next day. Now, don't start calling me too much, but that's truly what they do, and lots of different areas of work that they're involved in, especially with drainage. And you know, when we have the storms happen, you know, they're out here in the middle of the night. And that one slide is they, along with the Park and Rec Department, did a ADA compliance project. You know, this facility was built how many years ago? 15, 16 years ago, and we found out a little over a year ago that some of the areas weren't ADA compliant, and so we had to bring it up to compliance in areas that I've walked on my entire career, just never really noticed it, but you know, when you couldn't argue with the drawing. So we were able to do that a lot in-house and save the city a lot of money. On the inspection side, you know, it's great to see residential and commercial construction going on, and on the residential side, you know, we had a subdivision down off Fieldstown Road at the intersection of Shady Grove called Fieldstown Crossings, and that I have never seen a subdivision happen so quickly and sell so fast, and it did so well. They've started the next phase across Shady Grove Road. So if you haven't seen that, you really need to go take a look. We've got a lot of great builders in the area and a lot of construction going on. Our Parks and Recreation program, and Dale's, you know, his staff, and this is a stat of how many kids that we have in these youth sports, and you see the numbers, and and that soccer number of 480 just blows me away, because that's the highest number that I've ever seen. And but all these sports, but you know, being park director as Dale is, and he knows the importance of partnerships with youth associations, because he literally couldn't offer these programs without all the volunteers. And I guarantee there's people in here that, one of our councilmen is a coach and a board member, Adam Barrett. And so it takes that to be able to offer these programs. And that's, again, another partnership in the city that's so awesome. Our city attorney, who I saw come in, where are you, Ken? Ken's on the back row. He likes to stay in the background sometimes. That's pretty good for him. But he's been the city attorney here for a long time, does a great job. You know, as an attorney, he tells me things a lot of time I don't like, so we have to kind of work our way through that. But just does a great job representing us and all that he does from a legal standpoint. This next slide is our city engineer, Rick Nail. Like in our city attorney, you know, they're not employed by the city, they're really contracted by the city. But Rick is always labeled as the city engineer. And when I came into office, you know, I'm a little bit cynical by nature, and Alvin was the first one to laugh. So, you know, I wanted to make sure we were using the right people, and I wasn't going to be a part of using somebody just to be using them. But I found out real quick how important the city engineer, and Rick is, like Ken, is not just our city attorney or our city engineer friend. And I'll tell you a story of how good a friend he was one day when I got sick, if you ever catch me off to the side. But Rick, appreciate what you do in that role in LBYD. Other partnerships that are so vital in this city to all of these different boards, and I know we've got different board members in the room. I know Sandy and the Park and Rec Board and others, and the Redevelopment Authority with Jack Fields and Lamar Kelly, and I don't know if there's anybody else here, but you know, our Board of Education committees, and again, you can't have a great city without all these people that volunteer their time to make all these things happening, and especially on the planning and zoning, which Alvin sits on that, and I know Richard Bradley's in the room. Another thing I found out real quick when I came into office, you better pay attention to what planning and zoning's doing, and I know the commissioners in the room can attest to that, because it's a key component of this city, and everybody needs to be on the same page. Other partnerships in all of the different groups, the Arts Council, the Historical Society, the Civitans, the Beautification Commission, and our Rotary, again, are just key and vital. First slides of our Rotary, and if there's ever been a project in Gardendale, you know, typically they were involved in some form or fashion, and they were very instrumental in building the Miracle Field and the Raymond Doss Playground, and that's named after Clint's dad, and work with Cornerstone Ranch, and they just do a great job in so many areas, and that was the playground that is now in place with the city. And another group is our Civitans, and pretty much the same philosophy, you know, in regards to giving back and supporting. They've been involved with most every project as well. Cornerstone, City, Miracle League. They actually built the entrance into the Miracle League there with that smiley face, and you know, another key aspect of this city. Our Arts Council, we just had an event this past Friday. Seemed like a long time ago. with 3 on the String and then a gospel concert the next night. And they just do a great job, volunteering their time to add another aspect to the city, and with plays and musicals and dinner theaters and all of those things. So the Beautification Commission that again does a great job in the city. When your mother sits on the Beautification Commission, that causes problems for the mayor, I can assure you. But they do a great job in helping keeping our city beautiful like we all want it to be. Our Board of Education, everyone knows in the room what we've gone through in our decision to form our own school system. It's been very trying. First, in regards to the staff, Dr. Martin, and they're all here, Dr. Martin, Bill Cassidy, Randy Dunlap, and Amy Donald. It's been tough on them as well because of the uncertainty and the obstacles that were thrown at us from about every direction I think it can be thrown. I keep looking behind me to see if there's somebody back here, but I'm going to read the statement and pretty much tell us where we are today. It's always been the intent of Gardendale leadership that avenues exist for all students in the greater Gardendale area to attend the schools. We continue to maintain extreme optimism about what an outstanding school system Gardendale City Schools can become. We value and appreciate the community's patience as we continue to move through this process. We look forward to the day where we can support the students of Gardendale City Schools. Everybody in this room knows as much about it as I do. So, there's been a rumor that we knew something. We're kind of holding back on announcing it. It's not true. And we're just sitting here waiting on Judge Hackler to give us her decision. But I do appreciate what you all do and keep striving to make this happen. You got a little event coming up here in the next few days, April 21st and 22nd, the Magnolia Festival. And the Magnolia Festival, again, is another partnership in lots of different ways. And so everyone come on out. I'm sure you will. Most everybody in Alabama does. And I think it was estimated last year we had 40,000. Amy, what'd you say on TV? How many people we had last year? 30,000. So I added 10 to it. But I can tell you it's packed and it's a great event. And this is Kathleen Phillips, who heads that up and just does a great job in so many different ways and creating another reason for why people want to be a part of our city. Other partnerships, and I'm going to get to the good stuff in a minute, okay? So I know that's primarily what you hear, but you gotta understand, it's not one man or it's not 5 council members that it takes to make this work. You better develop these partnerships and you better build on them. Gary Palmer, Gary is a friend now, and haven't known him except when he started running, but he's in my phone. He has these quarterly meetings, and his staff members are in my phone. And so if I ever need their help, they're available and just do a great job. Same thing with Shay Shellnut. I didn't have a picture of Alan, but Shay in the Senate and Alan in the House are very well connected with us all as well, and they respond to your text and phone calls, and really appreciate them. A week from tonight, Gary Palmer will be here for a town hall meeting. I'm assuming in the exhibition hall, right, Keith? We'll be in the exhibition hall. It's at 6:30, and I encourage you to come out. And if you have issues or questions, get with him. And he's not one that will dodge the tough questions. So. Again, that's next Thursday night at 6:30. There have been some issues in some other cities that town hall meetings didn't really go as planned, and so Chief Walker really stepped in quickly and has things in place to make sure that we have a peaceful and orderly meeting. Other partnerships, the Jefferson County Commission, and that was a proud day when we reopened that courthouse. Let's thank the commissioners for helping make that happen. So, Joe and I were texting and talking about an issue the other day. It wasn't in the middle of the day. I think it was probably 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and I appreciate that. And then I've gotten to know Commissioner Carrington, who's with us here. Dave, throw your hand up, let everybody know you're here. And so appreciate him and helping make that. It takes them all, takes all those votes to make things like that happen. I appreciate him, and Othel's here with us, and got a couple of Gardendale people, and Danielle both work with Commissioner Carrington. And Othel, appreciate you. I got a slide of you in it, so don't be nervous here in a minute. And then Danielle that used to work with the North Jefferson News, and Zach here. Zach Brooks in the back of the room, he's the one that you need to really get it done for Joe. So, and I think Joe would be the first to tell you that, of how key staff members are in the partnerships that they need as well. The Alabama League and AMIC in on the state level that we're all members of and a part of, and they lobby for things that help us with the state government. The chamber that the majority of the people in the room are a member of, and how important it is, and the relationships that we all have with each other, and the between the city and the chamber. The chamber is a separate entity. We give money to the chamber, and I actually sit on the board, and it's just a great relationship that I'm really proud of. With last year, I get 3 presidents I got my eyes on quickly: Scott Cantrell, Liz Young, and Kent House, who's the current president. But everybody within that organization on the board, works hard, does a great job. Here's some stats in regards to numbers. That 24 new members, I think, is really key. You always want a growing chamber, and everything they do to help get the word out for different things in the town, and all that they do. They handle all the ribbon cuttings. I can assure you we had more ribbon cuttings than this year, but I don't have the stat for how many for today's message. I didn't think it was that important. But it is important that you continue to keep having them, and I'm thankful for the chamber for what they do in those regards. And if I didn't mention our new executive director of the chamber, Anna, when did you come on board?
July.
And so she came on board in July, and you'd think she's been here 10 years. So just does a great job, and I think everyone in the chamber agrees what kind of job Anna's doing for the chamber as well. Additional partnerships from a media perspective. Got the North Jefferson News in the room. I always, they're always a great resource. Catherine with C4 Creative, who is basically handles all the PR for really the majority of the city in regards to the city government. 1342 6 3340. I've got every station with somebody in my phone. They call me more than I call them, and that's not necessarily a good thing, as y'all guys know. But it is if you show them that you're willing to work with them, then they'll show you that same respect in return, because the last thing you really want to do is get Catherine, I laid eyes on you. Thank you so much for being here today. Catherine, and if anybody knows it, it's my wife. The amount of time that she spends that's above what she gets paid for is just amazing, and we just got a great relationship that she can say something that doesn't hurt my feelings. I can say something that don't hurt her feelings. I got my wife in the background saying, you shouldn't have said that. And I said, baby, she knows what I'm talking about. So it is nice to have that relationship. And Catherine, thank you so much for helping me put this together as late as probably an hour ago. Burton Advertising. Is Ronnie in the room? Okay, Ronnie Roy, for some of you politicians, she's Ronnie Dixon's daughter. She works for Burton Advertising. For the last few years, we've partnered with 3340 doing promotions with the city. This year, we've gone with Burton Advertising to kind of broaden our perspective. I was coming back from town 2 different days this week. Both times, Catherine, I saw one of these billboards on one of the electronic billboards coming back from town. But you know, it's the talk of what we know we have in Gardendale and what we're trying to get out to the public. Economics. We're actually still in the process. You know, Melissa Honeycutt, our city clerk, you know, we were operating in a very old system when it came to accounting. So we invested a significant amount of money, and we brought in new accounting software with Tyler Technologies. And anybody in the room that's ever gone through a software conversion, you know what it's like. I ain't got to explain it to you. Again, I'm married to a CPA. I've had to live through many software conversions. So, but it's really going to help us in the city. We operate on a $15 million budget. That tells how it's distributed. I can tell you every department that's sitting over there wishes their piece of pie was bigger. And we work hard to give them everything they need. But, you know, it's always going to take more and more. And that's why this next slide is so important, you know, in regards to sales tax. We continue to show an upward trend over the last several years. It's very important for us all to shop local. And, you know, I had a conversation, hate to keep throwing my wife under the bus, but we had a conversation yesterday. She told me she's going to Sam's tomorrow. I said, why don't you go to Walmart? You know, of course, she's going to Sam's tomorrow. But anyway, you know, shop local if you can. From a business perspective, it's just so, and think about coming into Gardendale, you get off on 65, coming up to the Fieldstown Road, Odom Road. Does that shopping center not look better than what it used to look like? And we're actually recognizing this developer Monday night because he did some things in regards to additional landscaping. He didn't really have to, so really proud of the way that looks and a reminder of what it looked like just a few years back. And for that's something I'm very proud and thankful of. The completion of the center there with Publix and Papa Murphy's opening. Express Oil, if you hadn't heard it in this room, they're number one in car counts in the Southeast, including Metro Atlanta, which is just an amazing stat to me, knowing that more cars go through there than go through any Express Oil in Atlanta. Everybody was proud to see Shrimp Basket and T-Mobile open. We've got Checkers and Dunkin' Donuts and Auntie Anne's inside Walmart now. And I want to quickly talk about Walmart. And I had a conversation with Anna yesterday. You know, this online ordering that they started is a big deal to this town and a tremendous convenience. When you complain about Walmart, and I know a lot of you in here do, but it is a blessing that you got a Walmart 5 minutes from your house. And that pie chart, they contribute heavily to that pie chart. And then a lot of you, especially my department heads and you firemen and police, know the partnership we have with Jeff J., being a Gardendale resident, and all that he will do for this city. He'll do anything he can for any organization, and especially this city. And for him, I'm very thankful. This coming Monday, Baja California Cantina will open. It's in the old Max's or right by Walgreens or however you want to describe it, but went over there and met them the other day. The place looks great, and they will be open Monday. Now to the kind of stuff you probably want to hear. If you want to hear about Moe's, back in August I made an announcement that Moe's was coming to Gardendale. And that, I've never had any Facebook post that went viral as that one did. And you see it's supposed to be opening in the spring of 17. So, and as you can see, that's not happened yet. So that's the problem. So I'm going to tell you, and I had a conversation with Jay Turner, the developer, that I haven't even shared with everybody yet this morning. The lease is now being circulated. And I see Billy in the room, and Ken as a legal guy. You know, the lease is being circulated. It is a good thing. That don't mean it's fixing to be built. But I'm going to read you the text. We're working with his real estate brokers now. Things are headed in a positive direction. Stay tuned. And 6 weeks ago, that text didn't read like that, I can assure you. Because they got crossways, a rift developed. And Brian, you've been a part of things like that as a realtor. A rift developed between the developer and the franchise owner. And then as mayor, all you can sit there and say, come on guys, we got to make this work. Another site everybody's asking about is the BP site there at Mount Olive in Fieldstown. There was a rumor a long time ago Shrimp Basket was coming there. I mean, not Shrimp Basket, Steak and Shake. And it's something we did. I heard the rumors so much, I called the Steak and Shake franchise owner and got him out here. Then he thought, well, this is and he hadn't even thought about Gardendale when the rumor was going around. But we haven't been able to make it work on his side from a financial standpoint. But we do have some good news there. The owners of the old BP corner have entered in an agreement with a commercial developer to design and build a 10,000 square foot retail center with an emphasis on quality food tenants. If possible, stay away from a specific start time, but fall is most likely. I just want to read you the same kind of information I get. I don't want to hide anything. And so it'll be a similar development as you see across the corner at Panera, which will be a great addition. This next slide, we'll invite someone to come up here in a minute and let him talk. But I spoke last year about UAB and how important it was to the town. And that it was truly going to be a game changer for our city. So now I'm just going to invite Mr. Reed Jones to come up and speak. And if y'all will give a Gardendale welcome to UAB and Mr. Reed Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. It says it's a game changer, but my goodness, it looks like the game's already changed. I am very impressed with everything that's going on here in Gardendale. And on behalf of UAB Medicine, we are delighted to be becoming a small part of the things that you guys have got going on. We have been in Gardendale for a couple of years now. A couple of our very excellent physicians are over on Fieldstown Road, but we are delighted to announce that we're going to be building a facility on the corner of Mount Olive and Filippo Parkway. And it's going to be an exciting facility. First of all, we're going to have a professional office building there. We're going to have, I believe it's about 33,000 square feet and 2 floors there. We currently have 2 physicians practicing in Gardendale, but this new facility will allow us to bring up to 9 primary care physicians into the city. And then we're going to have room to bring specialists out on an as-needed basis. We're envisioning having OBGYN out here, orthopedist out here, a gastroenterologist out here, cardiologist out here. So we believe that we're going to really be able to build a facility that will serve the needs of the citizens of Gardendale, and we're quite excited about it. We see about 5,500 visits a year, and we will be able to see over 30,000 visits in this facility. So very excited about that. And then next to the facility, we're going to be building a freestanding emergency room. And this will be the third such facility in the state of Alabama. We opened one through our UAB Medical West group about a year and a half ago on the 459 corridor. And the first day they were open, they saw 8 patients. Last month, they averaged 75 patients a day. They had one day they saw 95 patients in that facility. That means 95 people who needed to go to the emergency room were able to go to a hospital standard emergency room right down the street from where they are. They didn't have to fight the downtown traffic. They didn't have to wait in line at the UAB emergency room or one of the other fine emergency rooms at the other hospitals downtown. So this is going to be quite a facility. I noticed in the information that the mayor was sharing that your fire department ran over 1,600 emergency medical runs last year. Many of those people will be able to be brought to this facility as opposed to having to be transported downtown. So right there, you're that much closer to hospital standard emergency room when you need that kind of help. And when you need that help, you need it. We're going to have a helipad there, so you'll be seeing the UAB helicopter flying over from time to time. We'll be transporting people that need to go to UAB hospital either by ambulance or, depending on the situation, by helicopter. So we're real excited about that. It's a project that we're excited about. We're excited about forming an even closer partnership with the city, and I think the mayor's got some pictures of this thing that he's going to share with you.
Thank you, Reed. First of all, I get extra time because you didn't know Reed was going to speak, okay? So, but we have Thalia Baker here with UAB, and Thalia was my original contact, and we've developed a friendship well, and just want to thank you for helping behind the scenes put all this together because you were very key in that, so thank you. Now the really good stuff. This is the property right next door to Buffalo Wild Wings. There'll be a traffic light and actually 2 lanes in and 2 lanes out right beside the outdoor dining area of Buffalo Wild Wings as you're coming in off Mount Olive Road. This, and let me blow it up, this is what it's going to look like. And that's something I'm really proud of UAB for stepping up with the architecture and the look that's and you see that's not anything like you see in Gardendale. It looks like something you'd see downtown. So we're really proud of that. They're very careful with their style and keeping green space and landscaping. That's the 24-hour emergency room, different shots of the facility. The medical office building, and the backside of the backside, if you were standing on the roof of Publix, that's the side you would see. And then the great thing, we still got 13.87 acres left, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out when all that dirt starts moving, and one thing he didn't tell me was when we're going to start, so I guess we'll do that in a later conversation. But hopefully that's this fall. Is that the plan? Is that the hope?
Very soon. I'll put an adjective on that.
So anyway, I know we got a lot of anxious people, and then that's going to help trigger other development. This is the remaining property. So, everybody wants to know what's going to go in behind there. And so we brought in Goodwin Mills, a engineering architectural firm, to advise us and to look at this. And you see some retail, restaurant, and you see the family entertainment. You know, a lot of people, and if you follow me on Facebook, you know how many times people talk to me, including my mother, about wanting a bowling alley and or a movie theater or any of those things for kids. Hey, we want those kind of things too, but nobody has stepped up. Now, this may be the catalyst of some of these things that I'm going to be showing you that makes this happen. So that's one way that could look. Here's another way that's got, you know, restaurant and retail, and then a senior living aspect. You know, we've got a lot of people aging in our community, and they're interested in these type of things, and we've got people looking at this city for those type of alternatives as well. So that's a couple concepts. Neither one of them set in stone. Is you know, as we divide this property up, we want to do it the right way. 5 Mile Creek Partnership, or my 5 Mile Creek ladies, where are y'all? 2 or 3? Okay, so I see Lacey and Carolyn, and I don't see Libba's not here. And anyway, the 5 Mile Creek Partnership, and they actually roped me into being president of that group. But it's a partnership with several cities: Fultondale, Center Point, Brookside, the county's involved, Graysville, Tarrant. And basically it's the old rails to trails concept that you know, that you've seen here in town, that you can get on in Shady Grove Road and walk to Fultondale. Kitty Park, we're going to be extending that onto our soccer fields, and so we're working our way through funding, and we hope to purchase all that here soon. Through that partnership, and then it's going to tie in with our Guts Trail and our trails behind the soccer fields. And you see, if you haven't been down there behind the soccer fields, it's just absolutely gorgeous down there. Dale and Jeff and their staffs have done a great job. This is an aerial view of the soccer fields. This is that little blue building that we got from Fultondale Gas, and this wooded area is now cleared, and it's really gorgeous, and the grass is growing down there now, and it's going to be the completion of the Kenny Clemens Park with trails and skate park, and under construction now is the disc golf course. Going to have a dog park. That's the area. It's right across the. Anna's got a lot of pull as chamber director. She wanted that built right across from her house, and she made that happen. So, but then we got a disc golf course going in there. And if you don't know what a disc golf course is, you throw a frisbee in a basket, but it's a whole lot harder than that. And that's the type basket that they use. Should be ready in June, Dale. Is that correct? This is a slide I had last year, and I guess this is the most excited that I am. Excited while cautiously optimistic, time-consuming. We could throw a lot of adjectives in there. But it's my slide last year is we've got to identify our next interstate visible site in Gardendale, and we were lacking there. So to help make that happen, we created another partnership with the Daniel Corporation, and Scott, is Doug here? So, and everybody's heard of the Daniel Corporation, and you know the reputation they have in from Bass Pro Shops to other areas. So it was a real proud day for me to partner to combine our logos. And these are the two key people involved. Doug Neal is the older, most anybody in real estate's very familiar with him. He worked on the Bass Pro deal and a lot of experience in putting deals together and developing retail. But primarily for me, it was twofold. One, I liked the idea of combining the logos of the city and Daniel. But another aspect was the young man on the right, Scott Jenkins, who I actually coached in Little League Baseball. And so what he did, and he's a CPA and controller for Daniel. So he was key in why I helped push for the decision to contract with them, with the council, because Scott grew up here, he lives here, he's raising his family here. He wants the same things for this town that I want. And so I'm really proud of the partnership that we developed with them. So here's the big slide that I can talk some about. I can't talk totally about it. This is the residential area all behind Jim and Nick's, across from Publix, all of these houses. And most everybody in the room is familiar with them. It's roughly 26 acres. And that's the view from top that shows all the houses. As of today, we have every one of those parcels under contract with the Gardendale Redevelopment Authority. So that is a big deal. And when you take that many properties and that many people and that many homeowners, you can imagine what that process was like. So we're in the talking stages. As early as May 1st, we may have a contract with a developer. And so, we've got a meeting, executive session meeting tonight that will be very lengthy where we talk about this. And so we're all excited about that and what that's going to bring. And it's going to bring a lot of what you would expect it to bring. People talk about there's no property left in Gardendale. So I got to dispute that. Here's 335 acres across from First Baptist Church, almost 250 up around Dewey Barber, additional property on Odom, a potential for a city-private partnership between Gardendale and Fultondale along between Fieldstown and Walker's Chapel. And I'm now getting close to the end. I'm sorry I ran a little bit over, but everybody in here knew I would. So, you see, we've talked about all these partnerships and all these things we're trying to do, and things you have to try to get better. I mean, that's just life. That's what everybody should be striving for. But sometimes you got to take a step back and be thankful for what you have. In everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Hey, I'm not ashamed that Gardendale's known for having a church on every corner. If somebody wants to criticize me and this city for that, then have at it. I can say whatever I want to about Othell now because he just got up and left. So, but this is a picture I'm proud of. I was an employee here, and I worked for all the men in that picture, and some for a lot longer. Some I was closer to than others, and I'll tell you, I've said it here before. Kenny was preparing me to be mayor. I think at a time that he nor I knew he was preparing me to be mayor. I truly believe that. And so really anything I do is his fault because he taught me this stuff. So always proud to stand in that picture. And Bill Noble's the one that hired me as a 17-year-old kid. What a blessing it is every day for us to go to work at City Hall, have our meetings, bring in potential people to do business with the city. It's truly a blessing to present that image of progress and first class as we're recruiting others. This group I'm worked with, I'm so thankful that we're of like mindset and we're all Christian, and and we're all family men, you know, and Melissa's in that picture, and Ken, our city attorney. You know, it's just a blessing to work with them all. Our historical society, and I didn't see Mr. Dooley here today. Is Mr. Dooley, are you in the room? So, and you know, Mr. Dooley's had some health issues, but he helped form this, and it's important to me because I don't want people to lose the history of this city and things that are important from years ago. I went up to Dewey Barber Chevrolet. This week's a scramble to me. So it was yesterday. And I visited with Scott and Dewey, and that partnership is key for a lot of ways. You know, Mr. Barber was in his element. I think he's 86 years old, and he had Lewis and Leela Snow sitting in front of him at his desk, and he had just sold him a car. And he's 86 years old and still growing strong. But people like Mr. Barber and now Scott continuing, so important to this city, and in Mr. Barber's case, just a great man that I admire a lot. Don't forget, we took down that Publix Coming Soon sign down, so y'all don't forget that. So we don't have to face that anymore. We don't have to face a sign in a different city that says Aldi coming sooner, or any of those kind of things. So very thankful for that. And then, Catherine, you probably see a couple things I've thrown in here last second. I was thinking this morning, you know, about small businesses and what a lot of the people in this room represent. For every $100 spent at local small business, $68 returns to the community. It's so key. And, you know, people like Mordecai's, and I don't want to start naming names because I'll offend somebody, but Danny was on my mind this morning. You know, can you imagine Gardendale without Mordecai's? And this next slide, it's hard to imagine Gardendale without J.C. Files, who passed away recently. And but Files Tower is still there. So another great local business. This facility, I'm so thankful that we have a place like this to come together. Our splash pad and playgrounds that the kids can just have a great time. Our Veterans Memorial Park, our Miracle Field, the Miracle Field program. If you still haven't had a chance to be a part of that, get over there. You're missing a blessing. And I can't hardly ever speak without mentioning my family. And I was going to try to play a little audio clip from last year. I got up here and I was talking about my family and told everybody my son got married, my daughter got married. We'd celebrated 35 years anniversary, and so proud of gaining a son-in-law and a daughter-in-law. And I said, one other thing. I said, we want grandkids if y'all want to pass the word. Boom. We got our first grandson, and boom, we got our first granddaughter coming in May. So I'd really like to predict something's going to happen this year, you know, since I did such a good job last year. So maybe something like Academy's coming or something like that. So, and then when it comes to partnerships, the partnership that I'm most proud of is the one that I have with my wife. And she just does a great job in her role as a mayor's wife. And Rhonda, you know what that's like. And it's trying sometimes, but my goodness, she just does a great job, and I'm so fortunate that to call her mine. What makes a great city? I'm coming back to that slide. In my mind, what makes a great city is everything you've seen in there. It's people working together. It's good leadership, and it takes everybody to do it, from the citizens through the employees to the elected officials. I say this every year. You know, I firmly believe that in my role as mayor, as long as I do the right thing and I remain humble, that God will bless me and God will bless this city